sport mode is a beast. Holy. Where the hell am I? Oh yeah. What's up, guys? I'm in Minneapolis. Oh yeah. The big city. Doesn't really look like much of a big city right here. But it's yeah. It's not even that big of a city. That's what's interesting. Anyhow, so maybe we'll talk about that this time. Talk about guitars and big cities. I don't know. Visiting my cousin today. Pretty good for us to catch up. We haven't caught up. Long time. Ate at a little restaurant she called Grungy. I think that's how she used this. Well, this really grungy place that's my favorite. Let's go there. It was pretty good. Pretty good. Went to a sweet guitar shop and played a guitar. Played a lap steel, actually, is what I played. I'd never really played one before. It was pretty sweet. Played decent, and this was like they make their own guitars. The person who made the lap steel was there, so that's kind of cool, kind of fun. The person who made it told me afterwards that it seems like I should pick up the lap steel, start playing the lap steel, so they must have liked what they heard, I guess. Pretty fun. I'd never played something like that. I've played guitar for probably, I guess, like 23 years now. It's kind of weird to say. That seems like a long time. 23 years to play an instrument. That's a long time. Makes you feel kind of old, actually. Anyway, I had played some slide guitar before, but never a lap steel. It's kind of cool. What the hell? Train? Waiting for a train? Dude is in a major hurry. He's like, fuck you and your train track rules. And now these guys are thinking about it too. I don't see a train. But I feel like that's everyone's famous last words. I feel like you say that. You're like, well, there's no train coming. And then you go to look and you're dead. I'm doing it. I'm going for it. Boy, this road is fucked. So I first got a guitar, well, I guess really early. I got a little, I don't know, probably 9 years old maybe. I got a plastic guitar. So I had a neighbor that played guitar, and I could always hear him playing guitar right next door to us when I was growing up. And so I started going over there and hanging out with him. And he was nice enough to let me hang out while he was playing. And I don't remember, maybe it was my 9th birthday or something. He got me a guitar. And it was this little plastic guitar with plastic strings, and it was pretty totally awesome until my aunt stepped on it and broke the crap out of it. And that sucked. So then I didn't have one for a little while. My mom kept trying to be cool, and she found me like some ukuleles at garage sales and stuff, but none of them had strings on it. And you know, this is the 80s. Nobody knows what to do or who to call or where to go with anything. So then fast forward till I was 12, never really had a guitar then, so you know, 2-3 years fast forward, but I must have still showed interest and really wanted one and talked about it. So then finally my mom used some tax return money. And that's what it always was in those days, man. Oh, wait till tax returns and get something. But yeah, she's used tax return money and bought me a PV Predator with a little PV Rage 158 amp. And that was just like the most kick-ass ever. That's like as kick-ass as it could get. Black with white pickguard, I still have it. Pretty totally awesome. And I seriously played that for years. I don't know, I couldn't afford anything else, so I kept playing the PV. Pretty awesome. But it was rough. It was like, I mean, it played fine, but I played the crap out of it. Like, I played it constantly. I had it on me constantly. Like, when I wasn't at school or whatever, I went home, I had the guitar hung around me at, you know, while I was eating, while I was watching TV, while I was sitting in my bedroom, while I was taking a shit, I was playing guitar. Just always. So I was kind of, you know, I was really dedicated. And I totally, like, I remember, like, the first kind of big influences I saw, like a TV thing, some kind of television program about Jimi Hendrix, and that is what grabbed me. I was, like, that spoke to me, and I was like, holy shit, I want to play guitar like Hendrix, which is completely ridiculous for, like, a 12-year-old. And we had no money for lessons or anything, so I had a friend that took some lessons, and so I had him show me, like, just some chords, like basic chords. But otherwise, I basically have been 100% self-taught, learning by ear. Luckily, I got into that, like, just listen and try to recreate on the guitar. So my friend taught me, like, how to tune and how to play, like, 3 chords and a bar chord. And all I wanted to do was rip it up like Hendrix and be psychedelic and bluesy. And slowly but surely, with tons of dedication and time, I eventually got there, which is pretty cool. I mean, unfortunately nowadays I don't really play much at all, mostly because I got pretty discouraged with trying to have bands and keep bands together. Whatever, I don't know, it never seems to work out or happen, so I don't know, I just kind of, as I've gotten older now, I just focus on other things. I don't know if I've ever talked about this in videos, really can't recall right now, but I also paint, and so, you know, focusing on painting and stuff and a little less music. But yeah, so interesting. The guy who gave me that first guitar, the plastic one, he was in a band in the 90s called Shag Harbor, which is really interesting. I still have a tape. They made a tape somehow at a studio, which is kind of cool. And yeah, still had it. So Shag Harbor. So in the comments, if you've heard of Shag Harbor, let me know about it. Yeah, so somewhere in the upper 90s, late 90s, I finally started, like, having enough of my own money to start buying guitars or changing things. So that PV had a tremendous amount of feedback. So even when I got a better amp, I got a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe 212 amp, and when that happened, I was trying to play guitar with that amp and the PV, and it just was not a good combo. The PV was a real, I mean, that thing really cranks, and the PV's electronics were terrible, so just tons of horrible feedback, like not usable feedback, like the type of feedback that's like, and you want to run for your life. So it was pretty shitty. But when I had the money to buy the amp, and then I realized the guitar was not up to snuff. I actually got another Fender Strat, actually gifted to me from my mother again, which is pretty cool. I replaced all the electronics. I replaced the pots, and all the wiring, and the switch, and the pickups in that PV. I actually, it's kind of funny, but I was putting Texas Special Custom Shop pickups in my Strats, and so now I have like 70s reissue pickups in the PV from a 70s reissue Strat that I bought. And the thing is like actually really hot sounding, like really, I don't know, the thing just rips now. That PV does with those 70s reissue Strat pickups. It's loud and badass, even for single coils. So yeah, then over the years, I mean, I basically have tried to start like little bands here and there, but nothing ever really panned out. I really went nuts on blues and like Stevie Ray Vaughan and stuff. And to find somebody, I know it sounds weird, but even in the late 90s, early 2000s, even though white guy blues was big then, it was still really difficult to like get a band like that together, because I wanted, of course, to do like Hendrix covers and Stevie Ray Vaughan covers and whatever. That's just kind of ridiculous. So I'm not really interested in that, doing that now, but who knows what will happen. But anyways, over the years, tried to have different bands, and just nothing ever really panned out. But I still have several guitars. I never really had any Les Pauls or any Gibsons, but I did buy a guitar called an Agile, Korean-made guitar, and it's basically like a Les Paul remake. But man, for the price, that thing is really awesome. It sounds really good. Build quality is really good. So that's a cool machine. Got that from, I actually ordered it. That's the first guitar ever that I ordered online. And then I went on a metal craze, because I was kind of like a closet metal player. And bought a Dean ML, sort of like Dimebag style, but the very cheapest one, like under $200 type cheap. And that was alright. I put on some Power Rail pickups from, I think they were called Power Rails, or there was something else, maybe they were called something else, Power something. But there are these pickups, they don't even have them anymore, but GuitarFetish.com had them, and God, the thing sounded awesome. I bought the Dimebag Dunlop pedal, and just extreme heavy distortion. I went with a whole nother setup. Actually, I bought one of those little crank amps. That is I think I now have I can't remember if I think I have the 25 watt version, or I might have the 50 watt version. I want to say it's 25, which is still plenty, because it's 25 watts, all tube, and because it pushes a Randall cabinet with, I got a Randall cabinet with two 12s and a 15 in it, and it's plenty loud, but still like manageable, which is cool. So I ended up having like two whole different setups, different pedals, different amps, different guitars. I eventually gave that Dean away. A friend of mine's kid was going through kind of some depression stuff and kind of acting funky, and she asked me if I would talk with him, and he apparently had talked about some things like cutting himself and or something, like hurting himself with a knife and different weird stuff. So I was like, man, that's a bummer. So I ended up, I just came with the idea. I said, hey, do you want me to talk with him? And she said, yeah, that'd be cool. So I talked with him, and I ended up giving him the guitar, and I bought him a little Line 6 amp with the built-in effects and stuff, just a little one, sort of like that PV that I had, but a Line 6 version with some digital effects built in. Pretty sweet, actually, for a starter amp. Way better than what I started with. And I gave him that Dean, and he was really appreciative, because basically I told him, like, man, I went through some depression and crap growing up and different things, and you know, try just like when you feel crappy, pick up the guitar or whatever. I know it's tough to say, because it's, you know, you have this mental illnesses and all kinds of awareness about that sort of stuff nowadays, and you know, I just thought, like, hey man, try it out at least, you know, think about harming yourself or whatever, just pick up the guitar, dude, and just try it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he's had a good turnaround, you know. He really appreciated it, and he thought it was a really cool thing, even just spending time with me and talking about that stuff. So yeah, tried to do a good thing. And then I ended up replacing that Dean with another one, and I bought a Dimebag actual signature series, the Shadow, so it's still like the original Dimebag Darrell style that he always had, not the newer Razor one, like the one that he always had before he went totally nuts, famous, you know, kind of after his death, and Dean released those Razor ones. So yeah, that thing's a serious shredding machine. But serious bummer, I was playing it outdoors and at like an outdoor show, and the thing, I broke the headstock off the fucking thing. Just wild. So playing, broke the headstock, still played the rest of the set because it's full locking trem, so it stayed in tune with the headstock hanging off it. Pretty badass. Yeah, that was wild. Got my jeans all ripped, like ripped the whole leg off my jeans. Dude in the audience. Pretty awesome. And just crazy. But anyhow, I ended up getting fixed. There's a luthier that's in a neighboring city to mine. I was able to bring it to him, and he was able to put it back together. So the only way you can tell is if you look at the back side, because some of is all painted black on the back of the neck, and some of that's, you know, sanded off, but it plays like a champ, and the headstock is still on it. So it's a badass machine. It's a shredder for sure. And then yeah, I just got like one acoustic, and I got a bass, Fender Squire bass, nothing major, but sounds fine. It's good enough if I want to record something on my own. It's the acoustic is a Fender acoustic, like 50th anniversary something. I think it's 50th. It's alright. I got it for really cheap, actually. So I picked it up for like 150 bucks used. So that's the only reason why I got it. I'm not much of an acoustic player. I've tried getting more into it in recent years. My fiance plays viola, which I'm also very much into classical music, and that's a lot of what brought her and I together, was music. Even though we play very different styles of music, we both have very open minds about music, and of course, you know, me liking classical probably helped the situation quite a bit. So now with the acoustic, I've tried to do more acoustic playing, and then you know, have her accompany me on the viola, which is cool. We've been able to pull it off. It's really, that to me is really fun, to have something just her and I. So I don't know, I'd like to, once we get married and life is moving along a little more and we're, you know, together all the time, I think that'll be the only next kind of group effort that I might work on, is her and I being able to play together and do a few songs. And, you know, if something more than that happens down the road, that'd be great. My ideal, now this is a funny thing that I'm not sure a lot of people would think from me, but my ideal band style that I would like to do right now, if I could do anything, would be more like, I don't know, psychedelic, artsy, pop rock kind of, I don't know. So to give you an idea of what I mean by that, I would say like music along the lines of Deerhoof, the Flaming Lips. I just recently went and saw and got the album for Les Claypool and Sean Lennon, the Delirium. That's or the Claypool Lennon Delirium, I think they're officially calling themselves. That stuff's really psychedelic. Stuff like that, that would be awesome. A little bit jammy, a little bit poppy, a little bit, you know, like I like things to be able to just go crazy and psychedelic and not have a definitive direction. That would be awesome. So, yeah, a lot of people wouldn't always expect that of me, but I think that'd be great. So that's a whole nother thing. You guys think of those bands? Those are the type of bands that are interesting to me. This new metal and shit, I'm not, I don't know, it can pretty much F off. The new metal stuff, I don't know. I know that I'm in the minority, but not real interested in most of that stuff. Anyhow, guys, yeah, talk about it in the comments. That's a horrible thing to say. Talk about music and what you like, because my real full stance is anybody can like anything, and you know, it's fine. I like to stay open-minded, but there's definite like yeses and nos for me as far as music is concerned. So if you don't like something I like, it's totally understandable. If I don't like something you like, please also be understanding. How about that? Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I always appreciate it. Two Wheel Ton. Check me out on Instagram. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.